Today's show is brought to you by BrowTog.com. BRAUTAG, the new BrowTog Premium Brewing System, is a high-quality Herm system developed by yours truly to take your brewing to the next level. And by yours truly, I mean Todd and James. The BrowTog consists of 3 premium stainless steel 20-gallon kettles, perfect for brewing 15-gallon batches, and each comes equipped with durable ball valves and easy-to-use stainless steel quick connects. The BrowTog controller is an innovative, no-nonsense controller developed to make your brew day better. It's easy to understand, which makes it easier for you to fully control the brewing process. Dial in your temperatures with ease and control the entire process at the flick of a switch or the push of a button. The BrowTog also comes with 2 premium centrifugal pumps and all the necessary cables conveniently labeled just for you. Go to BrowTog.com and learn more about our special introductory offer, which includes $500 off MSRP, free shipping, and a ton of free add-ons, such as a 15-gallon recipe kit of your choice, 3 packs of liquid imperial yeast, a premium refractometer, pH meter and testing kit, a 1-year membership to Brewer's Friend Premium, SandStep sanitizer, Brew Clean, and more. Head over to BrowTog.com to find a list of our retail partners and let us help make your brew day better.
Entertaining shows with content that spreads information and sparks discourse throughout the community. This is the Pearl Media Network.
Advice for new brewers, party faucet maintenance, adding a hand-pumped keg to my keezer, and what is a diacetyl rest? This is Homebrew Happy Hour, episode 235. Oh man, I gotta be able to switch. Where's the Zoom browser?
The music's not working at all.
The music's working. Hey, and welcome back to the Homebrew Happy Hour. This is the show where we supply the answers to your homebrewing questions and discuss all things related to craft beer. If you have a question you would like us to discuss on a future episode, you can go to HomebrewHappyHour.com and click on that submit a question link at the top of the page, or now you can call or text them in by using 325-305-6107. I am your host, Joshua Stubing, and today I'm joined by the Director of Operations at cmbecker.com. Right over there, Mr. James Carlson, as well as below me, he is the President and Resident Chief Keg Washer at kegconnection.com, the impatient Mr. Todd Burns. Gentlemen, thank you for joining me.
Thank you.
I almost asked you how you're doing.
Good to be here.
Almost asked you how you were doing. I don't care how you're doing because you've been rushing me. You, Todd, I'm going to cut the music. You lollygagged for some of this day. I'm here at headquarters. I'm in the brew room right now, setting it all up for our HomebrewCon online 2021 presentation, which is going on tomorrow at 3:15 p.m. Central. I hope you can join us, but you're like, oh, I'm going to get lunch for everybody. I'm going to bring you lunch, Josh. And I was like, okay, that sounds great. And then you're like, oh, wait, I got to go deal with something real quick. Let me go deal with it.
I was back by 1.
Oh, you for the show, but not for lunch. You get back at like 10 till 1. And then you're like, oh, I brought lunch, but maybe we should record first and then you can eat. Oh, yeah. Because I love eating at 2 p.m.
Well, I thought you were going to eat faster anyway.
Yeah, that's what I love about the inconveniences of other people. No, let me rephrase that. When it inconveniences me, you're okay with it. Never seems to bother you.
I mean, I filled my bowl full of food and sucked it down in like 3 minutes, and I was ready to go.
I didn't want heartburn. I didn't want indigestion. Anyway, it is exciting. Like I just mentioned at the top, we're presenting on Herm's Brewing, all about Herm's Brewing, and we're going to be featuring you may have heard that 18-minute commercial at the top of the show, our BrowTog system at BrowTog.com. We're going to be, Todd and James are going to be doing the bulk of the heavy lifting. Thank God. I just had to make this brew room a studio type thing, but it's been a lot of effort. We've been putting in the rehearsal work on trying to make sure we say everything we want to say. How are you guys feeling? Let's start off with our small talk with that. Are y'all excited about the presentation tomorrow, or the nerves getting to you yet, James?
No, I think it'd be fun.
Todd?
Yeah, I'm ready. I think it'll be fun. We'll enjoy the showing the system off. I think it's going to be an exciting presentation. So.
And by the time I get this published, because it's 1:50 p.m. Central on Thursday, it'll be probably right when HomebrewCon online kicks off, which I believe is 4:15 p.m. Central for today, or it's 4 p.m. Central today, I think. It might be 5 p.m. We're going to try to attend as much as we can. The thing is, when they give you your login as a presenter, we can attend the other stuff, but like tomorrow specifically, we have to get on our session. Like I have to get on there 30 or 40 minutes early to test things and all that. So tomorrow might be a little more difficult for me. I didn't even if you looked at the schedule, we're included with a bunch of big names. I saw John Palmer is giving us talk today. John Blickman. There's probably another couple Johns there. Denny Kahn has a talk. I don't remember. I haven't talked to Lorena. I don't know if she's giving a talk this year or not. She'll let me know when she watches.
I thought she was. I thought she talked about it, but I don't know.
I don't remember seeing her either. That's what
it may have changed when it went to. I think she was originally giving a talk live when it wasn't online. So maybe it fell off when it went online.
Okay, maybe that's what it was, because I saw Annie Johnson. She's giving a talk. I did.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Our good friend, he used to be with the AHA, and now I believe he's with Brees or somebody. Matt Bowling. He's giving a talk on Homebrew Clubs. So there's a lot of good stuff this year. Again, maybe it's because it was in San Diego. I really wish it was in person this year. I really wanted to see San Diego. More importantly, I really wanted to go to club night. I've been missing club night. Tomorrow night, I'm debating on if I'm going to stay another night. I've been up here at the headquarters, guys, with Todd for this entire week. So I'm debating between breaking down my stuff and just hitting the road as soon as we're done, or partying and making our own club night. It also depends on if Todd will let me stay after being with me this whole week. We haven't.
Oh, yeah. It's been an absolute pleasure. So I'd love for you to stay.
We did some manual labor this week. We want to talk about?
We did. We got a lot done.
I watched you clean out this water well thing.
So, James, my wife wanted him to move some plants.
Yeah.
And so we fixed the dolly wheel. It was flat. And we were talking, and I go, well, why don't you go move the plants and I'll go finish the water thing? And he's like, well, why don't I go help you with that? And then we'll do the plants together. I'm like, because you're sitting in the Polaris with a beer in your hand watching me work.
Shirtless. Shirtless. You forgot that part. I was shirtless.
Yeah, shirtless too. It looked like a ape.
It was hot, man. It was hot yesterday, James. It was like 6:15 and it was burning. It was hot. But it's true. And then I went and told Liz, I said, Todd wanted me to go down there with him, but I said, Liz needs my help right now. So here I am. It all works out, man. I'm smarter than I look. Segueing to the next part of small talk, the Trub Club recipe kits for this month, true to style Kolsch or true to style Weiss beer. The yeast is coming in tomorrow, Friday. That means your recipes will be shipping Monday. A very good chunk of people in our Trub Club have already told me which recipe they want. So we've got a lot that will be going out on Monday. I'm excited about it. It's not too late to join our Trub Club if you want one of those recipes at the recipe receiving tiers. You can go to patreon.com/homebrew happy hour or homebrewhappyhour.com/club for more information and see how you can support our efforts and the shenanigans that we're up to. We really do.
We appreciate that, by the way.
We really do. And our community, at any level, we appreciate it. Even when you don't, we have a lot of people. I always call it our community, whether you are literally a paying Trub Club member or not. We appreciate y'all for tuning in every week, and we appreciate you for supporting us by watching our videos, by commenting, by following us on social media. Everything that y'all do, it's still mind-blowing. I know Todd frequently asks me if I'm hiring bots to be in our audience because he just doesn't believe this many people would want to listen to. I was going to say 3 middle-aged men. Todd always says I'm not middle-aged, but with my family history, I'm past middle-aged. So 3 middle-aged men talking about homebrewing beer and stuff. We really do appreciate it. So yeah, homebrewhappyhour.com/club. I think the next thing I have, we did our HomebrewCon pass giveaway. It's not too late, though. If you want to attend HomebrewCon, go to homebrewcon.org. You can sign up there day of. I don't know cost if it changed on day of. I imagine it did because they typically do that kind of thing. But go look at the schedule. You can look at all that stuff for free. And I think for the most part, if you're into learning more and being in that, a community of fellow homebrewers, like-minded people, get your questions answered. That's a very unique part about the online, is that you can type in your stuff, and most of the time the people presenting, I know we do, will be able to interact with you and answer your questions right there, where sometimes at seminars, you might get shy having to stand up and go down the aisle and stand in front of the microphone. But it's a very inclusive and easy way for you to learn more and grow as a home brewer. I highly recommend it if you want to, again, grow as a home brewer. So go to HomebrewCon.org and sign up today. And again, to watch us tomorrow, Friday the 18th at 3:15 p.m. Central, we will be presenting on my segue to the Brautag. You can't see it in here right now because the camera's facing the wrong way, but guys, it's launched. It's live. We've had it live for a little while now. It's exciting stuff. James, I see you in there all the time. You were just doing graduations on hot liquor tank today, right?
Yep. We do a electrochemical etching process for the labels on the front, the logos on the front, and the graduations on the inside.
It was looking good.
Most people would be surprised at how much is really done here in Texas. Of course, we don't manufacture kettles, but everything else, including electronics, we do right here.
In that little ad bumper I did, Todd, I was trying to get as much information as possible, and it still was almost a 2-minute ad. But I was trying to, mainly because of all the bonuses. That's what I wanted to talk to you about next, Todd. The bonuses added 40 seconds to that commercial, where it was like, yeah, you get money off and you get free shipping, but also we have to do a shout out to our friends at Brewer's Friend. We got to do a shout out to our friends at Imperial. We've got, obviously our retail partners, which is, you as Keg Connection LLC, but also kegoutlet.com hopped on board with us too. They're offering it. And
one important thing about them is they are offering financing, which we will have eventually, but we do not have a very good financing option right now, but kegoutlet.com does have that available right now.
They do. If you are qualifying, which all of our listeners are financially responsible people with good credit scores, you can get 0% up to 36 months at kegoutlet.com. I thought that was cool.
Really?
You can.
Wow.
I know. And we know some people personally who these creditors just throw credit lines at, so you're probably going to qualify, guys. And these are people that shouldn't be getting qualified, but we know you listening, you're fiscally responsible. So anyway, no, that is cool. When Keg Outlet joined, I was like, that's awesome, because they have that site-wide where if you're qualifying for it, you can get 0% interest financing for 36 months. So I know on a system like ours, where after everything's said and done, you add a wort chiller, or we do have limited tables available. I think we have 2. Is that right, guys, that we can sell?
Yes, right now. Yeah.
So if you wanted to add a table that you're talking, it's, getting up to back to that MSRP, like $5,000 with free shipping though. But I know that's hard to just do all up front. So the financing definitely helps. And like Todd said, at kegconnection.com and Homebrew Supply, that's coming soon. Todd's working on that. I'm told. I haven't actually followed up with you, Todd, if you're actually doing that or not. But anyway, that's all the small talk I have. Let us get right into the show. I've got some questions for us this week. Let me pull over my phone. The first one was a text message from our buddy Gil, who used the submission. I like being redundant. He texted to us using 325-305-6107. Gil typed, "Hi, Josh. I like hearing about your brew time with your dad. My dad is moving close to me soon, and I want to start brewing together too. I'm a partial mash brewer who is considering going to all grain once my dad is here and can start brewing with me. What advice do you have for newish home brewers and also for family brewing together who don't want to be at each other's throats?" And he also put LOL. But I have a hard time saying LOL, or laughing out loud, even though I use it all the time in text. He addressed me. He didn't even talk about you guys, so I'll start it off.
Yeah, you answer this one. We'll sit it out.
Yeah, y'all sit this one out. What I would
say, and you brew with your dad.
So. I know, I do. I have all the experience in this one. What I would say, Gil, for new brewers at Partial Mash, what my pop and I did was got a browtag.com. And no, we did the exact same path that you and your dad did. We started together doing 4 or 5 mini mash, which is the same as partial mash. We did the alt beer, we did a Kolsch, an IPA, and a melt stout. So we did 4. Or maybe it was the chocolate stout from ketconnection.com. And what I appreciated about doing that, which I would recommend to you and your dad staying with that for a batch or two, is it introduces people to the process if you're not familiar with it already, and you get comfortable with the brew day stuff. Because if you're partial mashing, you're doing the same stuff from boil and beyond, or steeping and beyond, you could argue, as an all grain brew day. And when you get real comfortable with those parts, it's a lot easier, in my opinion, to throw in something as easy as getting water up to temperature and putting your grains in like that. You know, that is an easy step to add into the mix once you get comfortable with the rest of the stuff. Like for me, the most dicey stuff has always been post boil. Like that's when I get nervous. But if you brew a bunch comfortably in extract batches, and then all of that becomes kind of routine for you, throwing in a mashing part would probably be the easiest part to throw in my opinion. I don't know what, James, if you have any input on that. For the brew day on all grain systems, mashing is not, I say that. Now I'm about to say, let me backtrack a little. When you have solid recirculation, or on the cooler brew that my pop and I use as well, and you're not worried necessarily about a stuck mash because that false bottom's so good in that cooler brew. That's maybe why I don't worry too much about that part. But now that I think about it, the mash can be kind of a headache. Now I'm just giving Gil bad advice. James, I'm tagging out. What do you think for him about brewing with a new brewer?
In my case, I was doing mini mashes and took the all grain plunge. I would suggest do lots of homework, watch lots of videos, because you are going to be manufacturing the wort. And what do I mean by that? You're actually going to be cracking grains, steeping at a certain temperature for a desirable result, which is wort. And some people love it. Like me, I love doing that. I like the mechanics of brewing by hand. And just watch some videos. There's you can do brew in a bag is pretty simple. It doesn't require a lot of equipment, a cooler and a big bag and a thermometer and a timer, and you're mashing. There's also you can do the all-in-ones. There's great opportunities for all grain right now. You can do the cooler deal. You can do an all-in-one, or you can go to something like the Brautag, which is a 3-vessel Herm system, which is more along the lines of a commercial grade, the way the commercial breweries brew beer. Lots of resources on Google, YouTube. Just dig in, jump in, and see what you think you might like the best.
Yeah, exactly. Todd, do you have anything to add for him on that part before we take on the second part of his question, which is advice for people who don't want to be at each other's throats?
If I had to guess, I would say the last time I brewed with my dad was 1977. And what he kept saying again, over and over again, is don't touch that. So
sit down, shut up.
I was 10. So yeah.
I was gonna say brewing with my dad is a lot better than when I used to help him around the house when I was a kid. Where it's like all you have to do is hold the flashlight and you suck at that, you know. Like, no, Dad, here. Hey, son, go grab the crescent wrench, and I'd bring back a flathead screwdriver.
You know, that's funny you said that. That was always the bone of contention with my father. He used to always say, I don't really need the flashlight shining in my eyes.
I'll let you know when I do, right?
Yeah. I know my dad, I think he was trolling me because how is it, like, I don't have a son, and maybe I should teach I'm not very handy. That's why I don't teach my daughters to be handy, not just because they're daughters, but I don't remember ever coming out of the womb with an inherent knowledge of what tools are what, but he acted like I did for my whole adolescence. He's like, yeah, go grab me that blah, 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 blah driver. Pop, you gotta tell me what that is. What does it look like? Draw me a picture. Like, you know, the one with the red handles. Yeah. Everything has red handles. Anyway, I would say, segueing to finishing your question, Gil, if you and your dad have a good relationship, brewing is going to make that a good bond, in my opinion. Yep. Brewing has not been a stressful thing for us 95% of the time. And when it is stressful, it's like because we turned our back and there was a boil over when we had the lid on the kettle. That'll cause stress. But brewing is fun and enjoyable. And me and my dad have been able to turn brew days into we're going to enjoy the fruits of previous batches that we did. We're going to play bag toss or washers, hanging out. Brewing's a good time to bond, whether with your family or your friends or a homebrew club. That's why I think we say on the show a million times that brewing with a community is so much more enjoyable. Now, brewing by yourself is good too, because who doesn't like good craft beer at home? But brewing with people is fun, and sharing the craft is fun. And it is, which, Gil, thank you for the question. We'll go on to the second question. But guys, I brought those towers that I bought last time to my dad, and he loved them. So people listening, my dad has had normal 3-inch cylinder towers with V3Ss from Sam Becker, which we've loved and used forever. And I had V2Gs even before that, which are discontinued. But I brought home 2 T towers so that we could upgrade to X1 faucets with the flow control, creamer action, beautiful. I feel like I'm in a Twin Peaks now every time I go in that game room and pour. I mean, because my dad's in a bikini. But we really enjoyed it, and I gotta say thank you, because you both got me set up last week when I was up there. It was my dad's Father's Day present, which is coming up Sundays. Happy Father's Day to all you fathers, which is all of us on this show. But yeah, I forgot to say that at the top of the show. Thank y'all for helping me get situated with what we needed, because it was perfect. He loves it. Flow control, I think, is life-changing. And I might be hyperbolic because I say that about a lot of technology. But anyways, thank you. So, Gilbert, this is a great time to remind you and anyone else listening, if and when we take your question on a future show, we will give you a $25 gift card to kegconnection.com, courtesy of Mr. Todd Burns. Thank you, Keg Connection, for supporting the show. Question number 2 came from Benjamin, who used the submission form at homebrew.happyhour.com. Benjamin wrote, I've been bottling my batches ever since I started my brewing adventures last year. I discovered this podcast from a flyer in my order from Keg Connections, which was for a 1 faucet basic homebrew kegerator kit that comes with what the site calls a party faucet. What kind of upkeep maintenance do I need to do for this type of faucet head? Can I use the same beer line, or can I use the same line for every beer, or should I have new lines for each new beer? Thank you for the question, Benjamin. First, it's not plural, guys. Keg Connection. If you do plural.com, you're not going to find us, and that rubs me the wrong way every time. That other company, they took it. I can't believe, Todd, you didn't buy kegconnections.com when you bought. Okay, anyway, to Benjamin's question, I actually have only used a party faucet a handful of times because I like having proper pours, or I've used the event faucet from Sam Becker as my party faucet because that's my go-to. I'm gonna go on a limb here and say he just basic cleaning of flushing of the lines will do, Todd, or would you say it's easy enough to just pop that party faucet off and put it in another line? You should do that between every beer.
No, I mean, all you got to do with a party faucet is super easy. If you're doing a homebrew keg, you would just unscrew the disconnect, and you can just run it through the line, open up the faucet on the other end, run it through the line, and clean it out that way. It's very easy to clean. I would say one thing. I think the biggest mistake I see people make with party faucets is they somehow feel like if they're getting foam, if they pour a little slower, it won't foam as bad. And that's if you don't depress a party faucet down 100% all the way down, you're going to cause more foaming. You got to open it all the way up. Also, you want like 5 feet of 3/16 line on it. If you do a short one, you're going to get foam. So the best party faucet in the world is James's CM Becker. What do we call? Is that a party
event
faucet?
The event and party
faucet.
Event faucet. And that event faucet, I use them all the time at home.
Me too.
When I'm doing different things, and they flow perfectly. So my running joke on it is that it is a $50 replacement for a $3 part. But it is $50. It is $50 well spent, I can assure you. But party faucets will work, and people have used them for a long, long time. So yeah, they'll work fine.
In my 13 years at Keg Connection, my experience with people who buy the basic is because they're getting their feet wet with kegging. They don't want to drill through anything yet, or they maybe don't have the ability. They're putting a little keg inside the same fridge with the eggs and the milk, so they don't want to drill through those doors yet. And the party faucet is perfect for that. The party faucet's perfect for if you could set up that one keg basic. If you had the MFL lines on them, I didn't pull up Benjamin's order, so I don't know how he had it configured. But if you ever did a party with a keg, which is a question we're getting to later, you could swap to that and use that same kit to dispense at your party, which that, again, I'm with Todd, where having used the C.M. Becker party faucet or event faucet, that's what I would use because it's flow control built in and it's easy. It looks like one of those little barkeep guns that they have.
Yeah. And it's so versatile. It'll dispense
versatile.
soda, sparkling water, nitro coffee.
Whatever PSI you throw at it. That's what I like about it.
Yeah, it looks like a gun. We used to call it a beer gun, but John Blickman called me and slapped me around a couple times, and we changed the name.
He did. I don't know.
John was very, very nice about it. I'm kidding.
He was.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Yeah.
He stopped listening to the show years ago.
The other thing too is if you do get a kit with a party faucet, one really nice thing is you can just pop that party faucet on, take a shank and a regular faucet and plug it right in and go to, drill when you get ready to drill that hole. It's very easy and inexpensive to upgrade to the next level. So you don't really lose anything when you upgrade. So it's a good way to start out.
Not to drag a question out just for the sake of it, but I've never used they also call them Cobra taps. People listening may have heard them called that as well. A party tap or a Cobra tap. I've never used long term. Are they? I mean, I imagine, Todd, they're not built for the long haul, right? At some point, like that little the actual head you're pushing on is going to break. Or what's the most common?
I've never had one break, but I'm sure
Wow.
they do all the time. I mean, I've used one before for a long time for testing, or had it where I was using it for something, and I've never had one break. It is a plastic part. It's probably going to break eventually, but I haven't had a lot of issues with it.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, that's surprising to me just because I assume I shouldn't assume that because, I mean, how many liquor stores send those out? Well, they probably send them out because they're super affordable
the
too.
Pony pumps, that's what they use.
Pony pumps all have those party taps at the end of them. And like I said, we have a question later talking about hand pump kegs. But yeah, those party faucets, like I said, it is a great introduction into kegging. Or if your space needs that, like, we've seen a million times where some people like having that around with a beer line with a party faucet to taste out of a keg, or if they have to take it with them or whatever. It's the one basic kits are perfect. So thank you for submitting your question, Benjamin. Moving on to our third question came from our buddy Grant, who also used the submission form at homebrewhappyhour.com. Grant wrote, "Here is a random question for you guys. First, let me tell you that I love the show. Hilarious at times, cringe at others. Always entertaining. Okay, my question. I have a friend throwing a party for the 4th of July. He's ordering 2 full-size kegs of Bud and Blue Moon that he told me will come with the dispensing pumps." Speaking of cringe, Grant, Blue Moon and Bud. Anyway, I know from listening to you guys that if we don't finish the beer during the party or possibly the day after, that it will go flat because of those hand pump things. I'd rather not rip out my keezer stuff, but I do have space for at least one of those kegs if we end up having any left. Will it work in my keezer if I take a keg that's been getting air pumped in it all day and then connect it to my CO2 keezer, or is it not worth the effort? Jokes aside about how Budweiser's not ever worth the effort, Grant. Todd, between those two beers, he's probably going to have more Blue Moon because if at a party with general people, I would say Bud goes down easier. More people are going to drink that. So
I would try to save the Blue Moon. The problem here is the fact that you're introducing oxygen. So you're going to oxygenate the beer and it's going to taste like crap. So no, it's not really worth the effort. The only suggestion I would give you is if you could find some way to at least dispense the Blue Moon using CO2 during the entire thing, then you could serve the Bud Light with a pump because it's not even worth saving if it's not oxygenated. So, and then you at least could save the Blue Moon. I could drink Blue Moon. I could drink Blue Moon. If I had some in there. Yeah.
James, did you ever have hand pump days for a kegger?
Oh, yeah. Did you? Keg stands and Stuff I don't remember.
I don't believe you that you ever did a keg stand because you're 12 feet tall.
Yeah.
Who held you? Who was able to hold you?
Oh, believe it or not, when I was in high school, it was not this tall.
Oh, really?
So, yeah.
See, I've been 5'7.5" on my toes since the 7th grade. I was a very tall 7th grader, and then I was a very short 12th grader. Back to Grant's question, though. So, Todd, it's that quick of oxidizing the beer just from a day's worth of a party, and also I guess the temperature too is probably not going to stay super cold. I mean,
well, he's going to have it on ice.
Yeah, well, of course I'll have it on ice. But I mean, I'm saying a lot of keggers, and I don't even know, a 4th of July party, maybe they're proper because they're adults that they will keep replenishing the ice or whatever. But beer parties like that, I mean, unfortunately, that beer is for that party, right? Like at its best enjoyed.
Yeah, if you don't put it on CO2, the beer's not
right.
worth trying to save.
That's what wrapping up. Because that's what you had said during your answer, and I was going to reiterate, like, if the beer, people are like, the intent that the liquor store has when they sell you that keg is for that event typically. And if you're going to be using a pony pump, hand pump, any kind of, even the cylinder metal pumps, that's for that time. Now, like Todd said, it would be, you could do a 20 ounce dispensing kit off kegconnection.com, and you could dispense it through the Saint-Y decoupler. I think both of those kegs use Saint-Y.
Yeah, or even a 5-pounder or
right.
Anything. Yeah,
which if so he said, I don't really want to rip out my keezer stuff, but I'd say this, Grant. If you have the foresight to know that you're going to have beer left over and you want to take it, then you do need to rip your keezer stuff out or spin them up.
And you could still use those party faucets coming off the other end and then save the keg and put it back in there. I mean, don't get me wrong. 20-year-old Todd has drank Bud Light the day after a party, but it was flat and nasty, but it was free.
But you got buzzed.
Free beer.
It was free beer.
It was free beer. That's all that matters. 4th of July. That's a good. We're having a 4th of July party at my pops. We're doing a couple of events coming up.
That's weird. I don't even remember getting an invite. Do you, James?
No, I didn't.
I didn't get mine yet. It must be in the mail still. I guess.
You want to drive up to Austin? My parents would love to have y'all. You know that. Did I invite y'all? We're having a jam this Saturday. James, you actually do play guitar. You should come. You come to my dad's house.
No, what I do, I wouldn't consider playing.
I'm a
whole lot better builder than I am a player.
You've heard me. I pretend well, man. We're
very good.
We're able
to
pretend.
Very modest.
Yeah, modest
you're
and
very good.
No, I was fishing for compliments. Tell me more. We're doing the jam this Saturday, and then my dad's on. I think the 4th is on a Sunday this year, so I believe he's doing his party on the 3rd. I think everyone in my family and our extended friend family are just happy to be in person again. And so, like, I get happy. Yeah. Like, Nick, I know I gave you a hard time about the beer drinking, but you called us cringy. But anyway, I'm glad to hear about parties coming back, right? Like it's exciting. People it feels normal again. It's starting to feel normal. I appreciate when I read that from people like, hey, my homebrew club's getting back at it, or we're doing a 4th of July party or whatever. So that's what excites me. And I appreciate Grant for submitting the question. Our last question of this week's show was from our buddy Nick, who also used the submission form at homebrew.happyhour.com. Nick wrote, hey gang, I started making beer at home during the first bit of lockdowns in my area, and I haven't slowed down since. Your podcast has been a great help to me. Thank you for everything. I've been buying recipes of beers that I already know I like, and I'm 6 beers in now. My latest recipe arrived, and it's a lager. I didn't think about what I would need to make this before buying it, but don't worry because I will find a way to ferment in the appropriate temperature range. Something that is mentioned in this recipe sheet, however, is doing a diacetyl rest, yet it doesn't really say what that is. None of my other recipes ever mention this, and now I'm confused. Thanks again for everything your podcast provides, and I do hope you can help me understand why this lager recipe has what seems like an extra step compared to my other recipes. Nick, that is a fantastic question.
It is a good question.
And I'm throwing it to you, James, because you're the lager man in my life.
Yeah,
so
I love lagers. Todd's been brewing quite a few as well.
Well, Josh knows the answer to the question, too.
No, it's not about that. It's not about. Listen, man, this is my shtick.
It's not about me.
Yeah, it's not
right?
about.
No. He really does though. He acts like he doesn't, but he knows the answer, right?
The answer to what is the diacetyl rest?
Yeah.
Why are you throwing me on the spot like this? Because now it's like,
Well, all you got to do is say, "Yeah, I know the answer." James, go ahead.
okay, go. Well, I'll just say I don't know how to explain it.
That's what he was getting at. You had him scared.
Well, because my mind blanked. I was like, "Oh crap! I gotta Google search the exact answer for diacetyl rest. I know what diacetyl is. I know why we have to bring
Yes.
it
So anyway, I would just like to say that Josh also knows the answer, but we're going to let James answer. Go ahead, James.
Okay, well, what diacetyl is a nasty, buttery, butterscotch, popcorn flavored flaw that you don't want in a beer, especially if you're doing a real light, delicate lager. You just don't want it. I've been there, done that in front of everybody, had to pour it out, so it's not a good thing. But it's super easy to get rid of. See, here's the thing about lager yeast. Although they produce really subtle yeast esters, almost none, and that's why people like it, and that's the way the lagers are so smooth and refreshing, and very little going on as far as yeast like an ale does. But you have to ferment it. I ferment in the low 50s, 48 to 55 degrees, depending on which yeast it is. Some yeast will state on the package that they're more prevalent to producing diacetyl, which is a byproduct of lager yeast. So the little yeasties eat the sugars and they poop out CO2, alcohol, a little bit of diacetyl. Now, the easiest thing to do is monitor your gravity. And when you hit about 1020 or so, get it to room temperature. The yeast will the diacetyl will get reabsorbed by the yeast. The yeast basically will eat it back up. It'll clear it out. That's all you got to do. It's that simple.
Yep.
Just go to room temp for 2 or 3 days until you hit your final gravity. That's what I do. I've never had a problem with diacetyl.
I had to Google
And
that.
I've missed the 1.2 before and still was able to get rid of it. So
Sure, yeah.
you're much better off starting there. But if you ever miss the 1.2, I can't speak. If you ever miss that, still go ahead and do the diacetyl rest because you want to get rid of that diacetyl.
Yep.
Y'all said everything.
Yeah,
I
always.
said.
You could 1018, 1020, something like that. You're fine. And a lot of yeast, you can do your homework. Imperial's got good descriptions and specifics on their lager yeast. And I think they've got one. The Harvest is what I use a lot, and it doesn't produce a whole heck of a lot of diacetyl. So, there's a lot of resources out there now that was not available when, we started all those years ago, and it's really cool.
Yeah. There's a lot more information. It used to be I was reading about it a while back, and it used to be a desired flavor in some beers. So there were people that actually wanted the diacetyl in there, but it's kind of gone completely out of favor or flavor now.
I don't want to date y'all, but y'all are like, yeah, back in the day. Yeah, there was an internet back when y'all were brewing.
I was talking about like the 1800s or 1700s.
You're talking about that for the diacetyl flavor. Yeah. Well, I frequently romanticize ancient beer. Like, I would have loved to. I probably wouldn't want to try their beer from hundreds and hundreds or thousands of years ago. Probably.
Well, they didn't even use hops, right? So, yeah.
There was very different times. Nick's question is a good reminder, too, for people to, especially newer brewers, it's not inherently common for the average person to know a lager and an ale are different fermenting types of beers. So you may see, that Yingling clone. I know I like Yingling. Just make sure when you're doing, I'm going to brag on Homebrew Supply and Keg Connection. It's pretty obvious when you read the description what you're getting yourself into. And so you want to make sure with lagers, you do have temperature control better than any given ale. And like you said, the other steps of a diacetyl rest, those should be in your recipe instructions. But again, like James said, the internet or this podcast or whatever is your friend. Like you can get the answers and get help there. And James has been one of the biggest proponents that I've heard on this show and telling people customer service that you like to demystify lagers to people. You're like,
yeah, they're easy to do.
Exactly.
It's just you've got to have some form of temperature control, whether that be the seasons. and you have a place in your house that you can keep pretty constant in the low 50s, you can lager. Don't let it scare you a bit. There's lots of resources out there on the internet and on YouTube that you can watch people do it. And more people probably have a better explanation than I do. I just don't want to make it sound like it's something you don't want to try. You definitely want to try it. It's worth it.
Exactly.
It's worth the effort.
And some of our,
if it could be something as simple as a closet that you can put a window cooler and what was that company? Coolbot.
Oh yeah. Those are super nice.
Thermostat and then you a couple insulation boards and you're in business. A big keezer, would work good. You could use, if you don't have anything in your keezer at a given time, you could use that to lager, and then when you're done, keg it and put it right back in the keezer. And people like lagers. Oh yeah, mainly because they're easy to drink. And
well, I was gonna say, what are the in beer overall, not just counting craft beer, what are you think the top 10 selling beers have all got to be lagers? I made that up, but I bet you.
Well, yeah, because especially in the United States, because all the beers are American lagers.
That's what I mean. All the top selling. Yeah, you go to the beach. Your average Joe is popping the top off of an American lager at any given Texas beach, whether it be
or some form of beer that uses lager yeast.
Right. That's what because that's what we love about lagers is what everyone else loves about them. They're crispy, they're refreshing, and they don't punch you in the face with too much of anything.
It's a neutral. It's a neutral yeast. It doesn't promote any other flavors to spoil whatever recipe you're trying to do, like a Pilsner's. And Kolsch is a good example. Kolsch is an ale, don't get me wrong, but it's a light enough beer that you could actually brew. And I need to do that one of these days and do a recipe profile for a Kolsch, and then use a lager yeast and see what I come up with. Probably tastes like a Pilsner.
I like that idea. What would you use? Do you think like Global or Harvest from Imperial?
Harvest. Definitely Harvest.
You like Harvest.
Yeah, that's my go-to. That's the one that I'll harvest and repitch.
I liked where this is going. Yeah, let me know when you're doing that.
I find myself doing a lager than an ale, because I'll do the lager, leave that in my cooled fermentation a lot longer, and then I might sometimes I'll do a couple of ales and let that lager sit, because I like both. I really like a lot of ales too. I even like some of the ones that punch you in the face. So
I hope you like ales, because your keezer's full of 8 test batches. Of ales.
I love that beer too. I love that beer.
It is good. Some are better than others, but man, I don't want to humble brag, but I will, because my batch and Todd's keezer is.
Did you get it kegged?
Yeah. Awesome. It is so good.
It. Yeah.
He did. He kegged
So you're going to get to take some home then.
Correct.
No, I meant. You mean he takes
my
some
batch?
home?
Yeah.
Yeah. The batch that he brewed on. You've got a keg over there to take home too when you get there. Cool.
Yeah, I was gonna say, James,
I could bring it to you. I guess you're not coming out there now.
Oh, we're not because we're doing HomebrewCon from in the brew room.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, we'll do it here. We don't have to worry about bandwidth issues here.
We won't. It's funny.
Really good.
I was telling Todd how I might drive home, because we're doing the jam. It's a 3.5 hour, depending on traffic, drive for me. And we're doing the jam kind of early in the day Saturday. And I was like, I'm going to have to wake up early Saturday. Well, you know what? I could drive home. He goes, well, it depends how much you drink. Because last year we did it from his property and I was sloshed. I did the presentation sloshed. No, I wasn't sloshed yet, but I got there. I don't drink as much when I'm here at work. Go figure. And so I told him I should be good to drive home if need be. Or we got the kegerator right here next to me. We could make it a party, but then I would have to Uber to the ranch, and that's going to be awkward. So.
Just sleep here on the couch.
You do have he has a shower in his office. I could stay here.
Yeah.
I could stay. But then who's going to make me dinner if you're not here? And
I'll be here. I'm going to be drinking too.
We're going
to take y'all home. I mean, you realize we're going to have to share the couch, right?
Yeah. Homebrew Happy After Hours is our next podcast tomorrow night. Anyway, guys, I appreciate y'all's time.
Spoon time.
And the worst part is I'm always the little spoon. I appreciate y'all's time, and I was going to say I'll see y'all later, but when we stop recording this, we're literally rehearsing and getting ready for HomebrewCon, which is my final plug for you all. If you're watching this before the weekend starts, when I publish this on Thursday, come join us at HomebrewCon. You can go to homebrew.con.org and sign up. I think they have a referral thing. We'd love it if you said Homebrew Happy Hour. We actually, every year, Todd declines our commission that we're supposed to make, and he has it go right back into the AHA. He's been doing that for a while now because we do believe in what the AHA is doing. They're good people. Yep. They've always been very nice and good to us, and it's a good relationship we have. I haven't met one jerk there yet, except for that Steve Parr. But besides that guy, I'm kidding. Okay. We love Steve. But anyways, guys, thank you so much. I appreciate it, and we'll see you at HomebrewCon tomorrow.
All right, bye.
And that will do it for this episode of the Homebrew Happy Hour. If you have a question you would like us to discuss on a future episode, you can go to homebrewhappyhour.com and click on that submit a question link at the top of the page, or now you can call or text them in by using 325-305-6107. If you're wanting to take your brewing to the next level, go check out the sweet new Herm system available now at browtog.com, or go directly to techconnection.com/browtog and take advantage of the incredible introductory offer going on. On behalf of Todd Burns, James Carlson, and the Pearl Media Network, I'm Joshua Stubing. Thank you for listening.